This presentation will go through a bit about intellectual disabilities and in particular Down syndrome in children. Achieve Australia explains what an intellectual disability is, and they believe that intellectual disabilities or impairments are developed before adulthood. They are categorised in mild, moderate, severe and profound levels. A person is classed as having an intellectual disability if their IQ is below 70. Achieve Australia also believe that they can be caused genetically, during pregnancy or birth, illness or even environmental factors. Some effects of an intellectual disability can include someone's ability to learn, their communication, ability to retain information, as well as undertaking work and physical activities. Down syndrome specifically is explained as a genetic disorder that is caused by either a full or partial extra chromosome 21 within their DNA. Some of the effects will include cognitive ability, respiratory and heart conditions, and can also lead to certain physical characteristics. Down syndrome is the most common cause of learning disability within children. Therefore, as an educator, it is crucial that we are aware of the causes, effects, as well as strategies that assist these students. Not all students with Down syndrome will attend special education schools or classrooms, as according to Better Health Victoria, students with Down syndrome are able to attend mainstream schools if parents choose to send them. According to research, students with Down syndrome are more likely to be successful within a school where they are embraced and are given the support needed. Another interesting finding is that the whole school benefits from including students with disabilities. As well as a whole school benefit, a range of students will benefit from the strategies used to meet the learning needs of a student with Down syndrome. Students with Down syndrome will need to be provided with additional support in order to be successful, and this will change depending on the student that you have in your classroom. So there's some in-class potential and implications we need to consider as educators, and these will include students with Down syndrome will often take longer to learn new things, and this may require new skills or information to be broken down into smaller steps, as well as a lot of repetition in order to retain the skills or knowledge. Students will require more structure within the classroom in order to work and learn independently. Students' gross and fine motor skills are not developed at the same rate as their peers, and this is something that needs to be supported within the classroom as well as within the physical education classroom as well. So the gap in skills and knowledge among students with Down syndrome will also increase within age. Students will not plateau but will continue to learn steadily if given the opportunity to do so within the classroom. And many will underestimate students' abilities, and this needs to be combated, and a better understanding of students' knowledge as well as general interest needs to be gathered. Many students with Down syndrome will also have low muscle tone and require assistance with physical needs such as posture support. And this is something that will assist them in feeling as if they were part of the classroom and supported. So some things that we as educators need to remember when teaching students with Down syndrome is that children with Down syndrome can attend mainstream schools and be a part of a mainstream classroom. Early intervention will help children with Down syndrome to reach their full potential. A quality education is key to improving the lives of students with Down syndrome. And we need to find out everything about Down syndrome in order to be able to support those students within your classroom. And lastly, schools have legal responsibilities to include students with Down syndrome, and this is due to the Disability Discrimination Act of 1992. So to move on to the activity now, we will be completing this in groups of 4. So you'll be given a card each, and this will have a movie or a song title on it. You cannot show anyone in your group what card you have, and one person at a time will stand up and try and describe their movie or song without using the words listed on the bottom of the card. So each person in the room will have a turn in describing their card as well as guessing what others have. So for example, if you were given a card that says Toy Story, you cannot use the words such as Toy Story, Woody, Buzz, Toys, etc. So this activity will allow us to see that not all students will have the knowledge or vocabulary to explain tasks or even their own thoughts within the classroom. So before finishing off, here are some strategies that we as teachers can use to assist students with Down syndrome in our classroom. So they include sitting students appropriately so they are able to see and hear the teacher. Do not have students looking into bright lights, as this can impact their ability to concentrate as well as participate. Give clear, simple and face-to-face instructions, ensuring that children understand and can build on instructions given. So this includes clarifying, asking questions, making sure they're understanding the task before going off and getting stressed about it. Making sure students are comfortable where they are sitting and what they are sitting on. This will ensure that students are comfortable in their environment as well as physically comfortable. Encourage full participation. This can be done by differentiating lesson content to allow each student to participate as well as succeed at their own level. Establish routines. So this is allowing students to understand structure as well as the routines early in their learning environments and journeys. Lastly, we must ensure that the environment in which we build is inclusive and welcoming for all students. So all of these strategies and more can be found on Down Syndrome Australia as well. So as mentioned, you can find the resources and information I've provided on Down Syndrome Australia, but there's also some more references that I've used throughout the presentation included here, and all of these have some great strategies and information about Down syndrome that anyone can use in their classroom.